This is Newcap News with Lauren Poland.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Moses, you've been working hard on this two-part feature all day long. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, it was a whole, everyone did their part as much as they can. And it's really, really great story about the 2001 team, a team that had suffered heartbreak before, and we'll have plenty of more in sports.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And Gerard, aside from a little bit of wind today, overall still another decent day, especially for the middle of February.
Wow, would you believe? I mean, I got up early this morning, actually. I was out when the wind chill was actually at -22 or thereabouts this morning. And during the course of the day, it bumped up into the -6 region. But that's just across the region it was like for the better part of the day. Right now, let's see what we got, because we did get to a high of -1 just after 2 o'clock. And that's where we're sitting pretty at in this hour. 57% is the humidity. The wind not gusting as sharply as it did yesterday at the same time. At some points today, it was just up to about 22, but it's been mainly with that westerly heading that we're seeing, and the wind chill reading at -5 in this hour. Across the region, some more cloud cover in Cold Lake and area, but no major precipitation in the forecast. Details on the way a little later in the cast.
Alberta land in the border city could be all used up in as little as a decade. As Elise Cox explains, the city is preparing for the predicted rapid development.
Stats Canada has identified Lloydminster as one of the country's fastest growing areas, but our growth has created some challenges for the city.
We don't have the land to expand on the Saskatchewan side, so we're limited by the Husky development on our east side and at the arm of Wilton, and we've annexed some land in Wilton recently, but in terms of where we can go, it's mostly to the Alberta side.
A recently approved 2009 study of the city has revealed that in 10 to 15 years, the Alberta side will run out of residential land to expand on. Lloydminster is looking to open talks with neighboring communities to further the border west.
We need to negotiate with the County of Vermilion River if we're looking to expand into on the Alberta side in particular, and that's outlined in our intermunicipal development plan.
Though there are obstacles, the city is happy that these are the challenges that we are anticipating in the next decade.
I think it's great news. It's always good to hear that your municipality is growing and development is happening. So.
Elise Cox, Newcap News.
The Alberta government reintroduced its Education Act, promising a systematic province-wide effort to go after and punish schoolyard bullies. Tackling teen bullying is a top priority for the Lloydminster Public School Division, and despite the fact the border city follows Saskatchewan education guidelines, it approves.
To make sure that kids that are bullies are dealt with in a way where they understand the impact of their behaviors, and they learn that they have to change if they're going to, become productive citizens and work cooperatively with others.
The Education Act wants to make sure there's a uniform code of conduct, clearly spelling out what is and isn't allowable.
Ultimately, what boards want to look at is how do you go back into that setting? What do you need to do to correct it? How do you correct students' behavior? And how do you ensure that that student at the end of the day will graduate and become a successful citizen?
Alberta's Education Minister Thomas Lukaszuk said boards will submit their plans on handling bullying, and that will be checked to make sure it conforms with standards. A happy ending to a story we brought you yesterday. The 14-year-old girl reported missing from Maidstone has been located safe and sound. Natasha Stout was found in Lloydminster by RCMP. Investigators are thanking the public for their help in the search. Husky Energy has been a vital part of the Lloydminster area community, and today the oil giant gave back to 11 local agencies. $576.95. So if you want to put that there. In case you missed that, over $178,000 was donated, and for those receiving the money, it couldn't have come at a better time.
More than likely, we will surpass our goal this year. Our year ends the end of April, and we'll be handing out our checks to our member agencies in May, and this could very well put us over the top this year.
The money is raised through a variety of ways throughout the year, the majority coming through employee pledges, where the worker decides which organization they'd like to support. Hospitals are the lifeline of small towns, and it's no different in Bonnyville. But as the cost of equipment continues to rise, it can be hard to offer cutting-edge services. As Clayton Brown explains, thanks to an annual fundraising event, the Bonnyville Hospital is able to overcome some of those hurdles.
As this weekend approaches, so does the Bonnyville Health Foundation Gala. The event has become a staple in the community over the past 15 years and is the hospital's biggest fundraiser.
It does raise a huge amount of money for us to buy capital equipment that we wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. And secondly, just the connections it makes with the community, because it has become one of the biggest social events in Bonnyville.
And this year is no different. The gala sold out nearly 2 months in advance, and the support from the community continues to grow.
This year we'll be a bit over 700 and probably turned away about 100 more people who wanted tickets, and we don't have room for it. So each year it gets bigger, new businesses want in.
The money raised from this year's event will go towards 2 new pieces of equipment, one of which is a portable ultrasound.
Several physicians now are going to be taking courses over the next year on how to use this machine to look for some very basic things such as ruptured spleens or livers in a trauma, to do some very basic obstetrical checks on babies.
A lot of work goes into the gala, but it's always a night of fun and entertainment.
The decorating committee does a whole lot of work, and the food committee, etc. So it's always an interesting evening, a different theme. This year it's a night in Paris.
This is just a great night where we all get together and we raise some money for the hospital, and we have a lot of fun.
In Bonnyville, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
Kayla joins us on the desk now with a look at what's happening around the region tonight. What can you tell us, Kayla?
Absolutely. At 7:30 tonight, we visit a couple of schools in the area. We celebrate French-Canadian heritage with the students at École Saint Thomas, who held their carnival last week. They had lots of outdoor games and activities going on there. And then I sit down with motivational speaker Heather Charlton to talk about the dangers of drinking and driving. She was in the border city to share her powerful story with students at ES Laird. And then Matt Schumont was in Edmonton for Aggression MMA 9 and has the full recap. Viewers can also enter to win tickets. We're giving away to see Stuart McLean at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. All you have to do is like our Facebook page or follow us on Twitter.
Great. Well, enjoy that, and I hope everyone tunes in tonight. It looks like a fantastic show. Stay tuned. We have more news right after this break.